You're listening to Off the Record here on 103.2 Dublin City FM with myself, Heather MacLeod, and that was a track there from the winner of Unsigned Online from Carol Keogh. But I'm now joined in the studio by two of the band members even of Futurism. So I'm joined by Darcy and Evan. Thanks very much, guys.
How are you?
You've come all the way from Cashel today.
Yeah.
Now, is the sun shining down there?
Not at all.
No, it's horrible.
No.
Horrible, yeah.
And you guys are up here to chat to me about the band, who were on a bit of a hiatus, I think is the popular word, and come back. And now you're re-released or sort of reissuing an EP that you had in 2011, and you have a gig primarily tomorrow at Facefest, which is Charleville Castle, Tullamore, and you have some other gigs. So I suppose, like you said, the band were going, and then you sort of took 9 months out, and you've come back with a few members. So kind of what happened there, I suppose?
Our lead guitarist / rhythm guitarist, right, we had 4 members starting off. Then we got a 5th member. He left. Eddie went to pursue some stuff in England, and we were really happy that he did that, but we had to get new members quick, and it wasn't quick. It took 9 months to get the right people, you know. So now we have the right people, and we're on the lash again.
On the thing, but it's better to do that. 9 months to get the right people than, I was young at one point, and in bands, and I'm still young now, but sort of young, less young. But I remember going through a stage where guitarists were having a problem with having a lead guitarist, and you'd have somebody there for a couple of weeks and not work out. And we must have gone through like a dozen in a few months, and like that, I kind of wish we'd maybe had a break, stopped, sort of auditioned people properly to really see what they were into, and then gotten somebody, because it's just, you just end up in a loop of not moving on anywhere.
Session musicians and having to relearn the original songs again and again.
But do you feel that you have the sound now that I suppose that you had and you liked picking the people that you've got, or has the sound moved on a little bit? Or
there's 2 new tracks that haven't been recorded yet, and they're moving on, they're progressing. They're still progressing. We still haven't found that sound yet,
Okay, well, I would say you're kind of rock and a bit indie rock, and even that, as I was listening to one of your tracks, I thought a slight hint of like that's kind of American rock. I don't know if that would be a fair kind of
there is
conclusion.
a touch of it, alright.
It wasn't trying to be, it's just the way it worked out.
Just the way it works out,
Influences, I suppose.
Well, listen, it's no harm if it helps you to break the States. That's always a big one, isn't it,
It's very hard though.
Yeah.
I've always been told by the few American fans that we do have that we will go down a treat over there.
So just getting the money together, isn't it, these days to do it. So you're re-releasing the EP that was out last year called So Long December. So that's kind of back out now. Is that on like iTunes and that sort of thing? Or?
No, it's not on iTunes. What are we on? We're on Bandcamp. It's available for download on Bandcamp anyway, and we'll be selling the CDs at every gig we have, so it's nice to have an actual physical copy of it as well. And
most importantly, talking of gigs, your first comeback gig, as it were, is a pretty big one tomorrow between 8pm and 9pm in Charleville Castle, Tullamore at Facefest, and that's a good slot to get first gig back in the game.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
But it's going to work out good. It
should be a good opportunity to see if we're back up to scratch as much as we think we are.
And you've been doing a lot of, obviously, preparation for that, I'd say. So
yeah,
big time.
Serious practice over the last good few weeks.
Yeah. So you feel you're stage ready or whatever?
Yeah, we're confident. Yeah,
definitely. It's a case of diving into it now.
So also you have on the 29th of June, then you've Dolan's in Limerick. You're in July, there 5th July, you're up in Crane Lane in Cork. You're 6th of July, Bailey's in Cashel, so that'll be a nice homecoming for you with a couple of gigs under your belt. You're in Roisin, is it Roisin Dove they say?
Roisin Dove.
Dove. Okay, Roisin Dove in Galway on the 7th, and that's quite a run of days there, 5th, 6th and 7th all over the place, And then the 28th, you're Dolan's Warehouse there as part of the Proto Baby single launch and in Limerick, and I suppose around in August, but you're part of the Ballinamore Fringe Festival in Leitrim. So you've got a few things going on over the summer. And what's the next plan then? Are you kind of looking at an album next?
Hopefully so. I'd say we start writing new stuff once we have the old stuff definitely stage solid, and we start plugging away at some new ones and see what kind of a sound we can find with the new lineup.
Well, as I said, we had those 2 new tracks that haven't been recorded yet, but they'll probably one of them they'll develop, and one of them will become a single, I'd say, by the end of the summer. hopefully.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a music video for that.
And then world domination after that, yeah.
We'll talk about an album then next year or something.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to tomorrow anyway. I mean, that's the big one, isn't it?
Early start as well. We're leaving Cashel at 7 a.m. to get up there for 9 in order to be there for sound checks and so on. Giving ourselves almost too much time, but it's better to be waiting than
not
too late.
Not too many drinkies then in between, until 8 o'clock.
So anytime we went to a festival, it was always drinking, but we're part of this festival now, so we can't drink. You know?
I was reading an article there, somebody was telling me about Glenn Hansard saying one of his regrets in life was being offered a sort of gig with Bruce Springsteen and being in America and going to a bar before, the night before or something, or earlier in the day, and they said you have to have a whiskey, and they lined up about 7 or 8 whiskies, and he didn't realise, but he thought he had to drink them all, and he kind of fell asleep and then sort of missed the boat, and missed all the texts from the PR company.
It can ruin a lot of.
So I'm just telling you that today, so that you don't do the same thing tomorrow.
Not a chance. No, won't be going near it until we're off stage anyway.
Yeah. No. And the EP anyway, So Long December. It's an interesting cover art you've got on the actual physical copy there, and looks kind of like a crying clown, artistic clown, pretty clown.
Boy. It's
don't say it like that.
I can't. If you're listening, I can't pronounce your name. Sorry, but it's Ihibid Megana from Mexico, right? And she had a photo on Flickr, and I saw it, and I said, "That's amazing." I said, "Can I modify it?" And she said, "Yeah." So she sent me on high-res versions of it, and we modified it and stuck it on and credited her on it, and it was great. She was all good about it, and thanks very much for that. And we'll call you again for something else, but we'll
learn how to pronounce her name first.
Yeah,
this reaches Mexico as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, maybe that would be an excuse to go over for the tour, So
maybe. Yeah.
That's it. The States next. Yeah,
tequila.
That's it. Makes you happy. So you guys, if people want to check you out, are at facebook.com/Futurism Music. That's FUTURISM Music. You're also at futurism.bandcamp.com. That's where you can download the tracks. So Futurism, just out of internet interest. Where did you get that from?
It was an art movement.
Okay.
Yeah. The guitarist at the time, Eddie, who moved over to London there last year, his girlfriend was studying art, and he spotted the concept being discussed in one of the art books and said it's a pretty cool idea.
So it's just one
interesting
word.
Name.
It isn't Eddie Sheeran, is it?
No,
that's not the things that he's gone off to do.
No.
That would have been disappointing.
I keep an eye out for this Eddie as well, though.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, apparently you're telling me they're all Ryans from Cashel. Anyway, there's a lot of Ryans.
Tipperary seems to be covered in Ryans, all right. Hence the distinguishing.
That's it.
Types of
need some Scottish blood down there to get some Macs in there, Yeah, that's
Few MacLeods.
Few MacLeods, indeed, yeah. Well, look, guys, thanks for coming in. We will let you go so that you can get off and get a good night's sleep ahead of your early start tomorrow.
Thanks.
Wish you the best for your kind of first gig back. And perhaps you'll come back into us when you're gigging up in Dublin, or
definitely,
doing your album or anything like that. And so we're going to take this track now. You're telling me this is called The Endless Fight. So what was this based on?
Oh, the usual, girls and stuff.
Girls and stuff. That's as much as I'm getting out of them, I think. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything at all. It's just a big load of metaphors thrown into a song.
All right, okay. That's very futurismistic, isn't it? Yeah.
Grab every concept and stick it together.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks everybody for tuning in to Off the Record this evening. Not much time left here, so we're just going to go straight to the track. But as always, you can catch us on Facebook. It's Off the Record on 103.2 Dublin City FM. You can email Heather at dublincityfm.ie, and we podcast as well some of our interviews at offtherecord.podomatic.com. So we're going to leave you with this tonight. This is Futurism and The Endless Fight. And if you're in the Tullamore area tomorrow evening about 8 o'clock, get yourself along to Facefest.
Time to know what I've just done. a little city, a crowd at night.